Well, folks, get ready to be baffled tonight because we just got the right videos for y'all fine folks at home, man. Please like this video if you love content like that. Subscribe if you're brand new because we got some clips, UFO from Moon as well. We got Brent Cousins, Dr. J, Apollo, and as not doctor, but Brent Cousin once said, in my opinion, it could be real, it could be fake. You know, that happened in the last episode. Let's find out what happened tonight, folks. Roll it.
Well, tonight we've got broad daylight sightings, lunar secret space missions, zooming across the surface. We're not exactly sure, but take a look at this. Organic, biological, we're not exactly sure, but what we're looking at,
it looks like a cupcake though,
is something special here. Give us a big thumbs up at this live premiere right now.
Yeah, like and subscribe, So where did it
We're putting
happen?
spectrum of light, seeing if there's any deception. Whatever is in the sky, it's up there. The question is, what is propelling this? What's the device to keep it hovering in the air? Is it some kind of anti-gravity seemingly defying the laws of physics?
Perhaps.
Yeah, Blake, that's a big question. What we're looking at, in my opinion, is 100% real. No CGI. These guys are actually...
okay, last time he did say, in my opinion, it could be real, it could be fake. This time he caught him off guard. He caught himself. He didn't see he didn't see that, man.
Recording what they're seeing on the ground. Now, the big question is, what is it? You can see it go behind the power lines right there. Again, proving that this is legitimate footage. That's what we're sharing here at Third Phase Moon. This is a good close-up. Again, could this be a balloon, something just floating up there randomly? You can see the people on the ground that are interested in what's going on.
Yeah,
you see these kind of like tentacle appendages falling down off the side of this craft. What is this?
Holy, you're right.
You know what's crazy to me about this is whatever's hanging off the sides, I mean, it almost gives it this kind of like a Mad Max effect where it almost seems like artsy to me. Like, I don't see why there'd be a use for whatever is hanging off the side of this here. So it makes me wonder if it, I don't know what it could be because it doesn't seem to be moving around too much, but it's definitely very interesting.
Interesting, isn't it?
I like this a lot. This actually reminds me of the UFO chart, things that were seen in the mid-60s.
I love Dr. J, man. I love Dr. J. He just, as soon as he puts his foot on the accelerator, he just goes, man. All gas, no brakes.
He's basically an elongated top-shaped craft with possible landing gear. Or is it a typical flying saucer with a dome that's inverted? Again, what Apollo said, it's the appendages hanging off the side that are very unique to this video.
You know, our phones lighting up. We're getting a lot of comments. People have been talking about Third Phase of Moon. The videos are making the rounds on the internet, especially on YouTube. Big channels talking about Third Phase of Moon and the authentic nature of what we're putting out. And what we're looking at, to me, there's no manipulation. Again, we're trying to show you the best UFO videos on the planet coming in real time.
I don't know about that, but I would say honestly, this video does look legit. I'll give you that. It does look legit, but I want to know where was this recorded. Maybe we don't have that information. Okay, let's move over to this one. There's also like a moon UFO that I'm interested by.
We're analyzing the video side by side comparison coming up, and we want to get a close look at this object. These people saw it on the ground. They didn't know what was going on. They wish they had a more of a moment of opportunity to capture this, but I'm kind of dismissing this possibly as a balloon. Dr. J, your thoughts on this one?
This one is fascinating because it looks very similar to that humanoid object that's been floating all around the world, or at the same time, this could be very similar to the jellyfish UFO that was filmed over the Middle East by the U.S. Army. Now, to be fair, we have to give the skeptical side, which, like you said, this very well could be a balloon as well.
Yeah, definitely reminds us of the new...
Okay. Yeah. Same energy with when last time he said that, in my opinion, it could be real or it could be fake, right? Same energy.
Drop that just came out. Corbell dropped it. We got the jellyfish.
Yeah,
and,
Corbell.
This is like
Jeremy
just a couple frames. It doesn't last long, maybe about 2 to 3 seconds. Yeah, it went behind the rooftop over there. And again, could this just be floating debris, some sort of trash, a balloon up in this?
Helium balloon, I'm thinking, honestly. Helium balloon. Okay, let's check out this, moon one.
Above the lunar surface, if what we're looking at right now is legitimate, this is smoking gun.
Yeah, this is some of the stuff that dreams are made of, if it's indeed real. Again, we're seeing some sort of craft apparently flying above the surface of the moon, and it's casting a shadow. Here's a good close-up of it. Again, is there real activity on the moon? Apparently, a lot of eyewitnesses, I believe that there's something up there, and this could be proof right here.
You know, there's so many projects going on the moon right now. You know, China just ramped up their moon space programs, and that's been talked about a lot lately. So there's obviously a lot of activity, and a lot of this activity is not something that's necessarily disclosed to the public. But also, you know, that being said, I mean, it's just really interesting that this activity is going on, that amateur astronomers are catching video of this. I know this apparently came from an amateur astronomer, and I think that's really incredible that people out there are using this technology and putting it in their own hands to capture, you know, this imagery and bring it to the rest of the world. So I think that's really amazing.
Yeah. Fair.
Ironic Apollo mentioned China because that's the first thing that came to my mind. They are intent on getting to the moon before we return to the moon in the next couple of years or several years, however long it keeps getting delayed for. Now, what's interesting, at one point, it looks like something is being ejected from this, almost like a little smaller drone. I'm not too sure, but I tend to believe this is possibly secret space program or just a typical space drone from China or us.
We're looking at this closely. You can see the atmospheric distortion within the lens and the casting of the shadow. Could this be done on computer and take it to After Effects and create this? It's a possibility. I'm still a little skeptical because this could be too good to be true.
Yeah, in this day and age, anything is possible though. Yeah, After Effects is one of them. Yeah, somebody could use that. You see the distortion happen, the natural one. Looks like natural, but what if it's fake? Yeah, good point.
True, but we're sharing it right now at Third Phase to get your opinions and just throwing it out there. Could this be real? Again, I'm still on the fence.
At first glance, it does look real. Even at a second glance, it does look real. I would give you that. This third clip that you got here, it does look legit. The first one also feels legit. The second one, yeah, can be a helium balloon. This one also feels legit, but it's still one of those things. It's like, what if?
Yeah, our emails light up every single moment in time, 24/7, right here at Third Phase Moon. The world's sending us the footage, and we're looking over it as fast as possible. We have more video of apparent amateur astronomers capturing the same.
The world sending us footage. Okay. Yeah, and I hear you, but it's just the way he said it was funny, man. Okay, we gotta skip over to this one. Roll this.
Are you guys all seeing this in the panel? There's some kind of saucer-shaped,
right?
illuminated craft. It takes off. You see a shadow behind it. We're gonna get some close-ups. Again, this is some amazing stuff if we're looking at legitimate space programs that are secretive.
It had parking brakes on.
If this is smoking gun footage, then we got it. But we're looking at things that still leave me wondering,
sheesh,
is this too good to be true? Again, it looks legitimate. We can see the shadow as the craft moves. It's hitting the craters. Everything seems to be matching up. And again, you got that atmospheric distortion through the lens. Is this what's happening on the moon? And if it is, we're pretty excited about this footage.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that there is definitely a shadow as it's taking off and going across the surface here. What is strange to me is that part of it's just kind of barely over the part of the moon that's in the darkness. But also I'm looking at the size of it in comparison to the size of this crater. I mean, I don't know what size this crater is, but I'm sure it's like way bigger than the length of a football field. So that would mean this object is very large. But this is definitely very incredible footage.
I think it would be even bigger than one football field, sweetheart. Like, I think it would be, it would be like multiple, especially recorded from that distance. Gotta be
Allegedly,
big.
all of the Apollo astronauts saw, filmed, and talked about massive UFOs, disc-shaped objects being seen on the moon, watching them as they landed, and even being filmed by the Lunar or the Apollo module floating towards the moon. This has to be massive in size. And what I like about it is the fact that it's basically hovering above the moon and just shoots off at a tremendous speed.
Yeah.
Dr. Jane, Your opinion, looking at this video, are you going to claim it as 100% real, or are you going to have an opinion that this could be maybe photoshopped or After Effects?
No, I actually am going to stand by this being real because there is a ton of activity on the moon. It is not the first time a disc-shaped, massive-sized craft was filmed on the moon, landed, or flying around it. And the fact that it matches with the shadow and everything else, the fact that it's not blurry, it fits with what an astronomer would be seeing and filming on the moon. So I stand behind this 100%. I mean,
okay,
obviously
100%?
you always have to throw some credit, so 100% is wrong. I'm going to say high probability 90%.
Okay. All right, fair.
You know, what I think is really interesting about this is that it's just barely over the dark side of the moon. It seems like it's just barely over the shadow of the dark side of the moon. You know, and there's so much imagery of so many amateur astronomers are getting all this incredible footage of the moon. You know, all these things are happening there all the time. And it makes me wonder, you know, are there things going on the dark side of the moon? Are there bases there that maybe aren't even ours or anything from a foreign power on Earth, but something that has been there for a long time? You know, this red light that's coming down on the moon right now, you know, it seems definitely very large, but you see a shadow reflected, or the light
Okay, this one, I don't know, man. Is the shadow gonna be this big? Okay, if the shadow's this big, this thing is still like super high up. I guess it's still far away from a touchdown on moon, right?
reflected off the surface. So what do you think this is?
You know, the third video tonight, and I'm looking at this third video of the moon, this red light seeming to put some kind of red projection beam on the surface. I'm leaning towards this is legitimate footage. Again, secret Space Force, secret.
For me, it doesn't look real. But the question is how up it is still. Because if it's like really up, okay, the sun is hitting it from this angle. This is why you see this moon being lit up, and you also perhaps see the sun hit the UFO, and then you got the shadow there too. Yeah, it makes sense. But the shadow is way too big, so this has to be really high up. But it doesn't feel like that it's high up. But it can be super high, to be honest, because we don't know how much is because this being recorded, I'm assuming, from Earth with like with a super powerful zoom-in lens with a telescope.
Space projects, black projects, Russia, China, who knows? Or is it something ET in nature? We're looking at this, and I'm leaning towards this one being, and I'm agreeing with Dr. J about what's really going on in the skies. I'm giving this a 90% probability that we're looking at something
90%, that's big. Quite baffling.
This one is the one that has me wondering, again, this is what dreams are made of. If this is real, we're looking at something that's incredible, that should be shared with the world. Again, we're seeing the light just reflect off the surface from this craft that, if it is floating above the surface, is superly massive. It looks like a TR-3B. You can see even the shape of a triangle, definitely. Even the reflection on the surface. What's your thoughts, John?
You know, again, it fits with everything that I was saying. It has to be really large. I would estimate this at more than several hundred feet, probably 1,000 foot in diameter. Now, again, this could be an ARV, but I don't think we're producing thousand size diameter shaped UFOs.
Yeah, 1,000 feet, like that's gonna be big. That's humongous.
ARVs at this point. I think this is possibly something not ours.
You know, in regards to activity on the moon, since, you know, there's been so much recorded of it lately, you know, I think it makes a lot of sense that there would be a lot more like space stations on the dark side of the moon, because what better way to launch into space than from somewhere that has an atmosphere that is not as hard to launch from as Earth. Like Earth, the atmosphere of Earth is very difficult to get through when you're launching from it. So it makes sense to me that this would be a space station for, you know, possibly even other races or ancient one. Maybe there's ancient stuff from ancient races on Earth. Who knows? But I know there's a lot of government projects looking into this right now and what we could do with it. Who knows what?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? That's true. Who knows? But I know. I get what she's saying. But next.
From around the world continue to come into third phase. We're looking at one right now.
So it's going through the clouds.
Cylindrical cigar-shaped craft traversing through the sky.
Trying to play hide and seek with the clouds. I see you, boo-boo.
No.
And as we get down to the climax, real quick, I want to say, guys, if you do use Twitter, if you do use Instagram, I would definitely love to have you. This is another way of this is one way of having secondary communication, just in case of an emergency, in case of a shutdown. You never know, right? Definitely check out the Instagram, check out the Twitter page. The link should be in the pinned comment, where you can catch up on all my YouTube channels, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and also a secret link. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the content now, boo-boo.
Indication this is some kind of hot air blimp or anything that's practical. We're looking at something extraordinary. Again, if real, we're putting a lot of enhancements on this.
It's going
this
fast
came in
as well.
earlier to third phase. We wanted to scrutinize this video to see what indication that this could be faked. And we might be seeing some tall tale signs, and we might be seeing some indication that what we're looking at is legitimate.
Yeah, everything looks pretty good. I like what we're looking at. That's why they would share it. That's why we're seeing this on third phase and everywhere else. This video is kind of going viral, so everybody's kind of dissecting it. We're going to do the same.
Where was this recorded?
Again, we see it kind of like disappear behind the clouds as it's moving from right to left. The shadow of the craft, you don't see much detail, but you do see this nice kind of motion as it dips behind and within the clouds itself. We're putting a little filter here just so we can see it a little bit better. Again, no really close detail on what this craft looks like. It does look like your typical cigar-shaped flying saucer, but is this real or CGI?
Reminds me of that Get Out movie, not Get Out, the UFO movie that the actor from Get Out did, right? Yeah, it reminds me of that. Nope. Yeah, Nope. That's the name of it. It's going through the cloud, kind of playing hide and seek with the clouds, though. But with this footage, I'm leaning towards it not being legit. Because, one in the world, right? Like, it's going around strong independent style in the middle of the day. Yeah, during God's hot sun. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do we have multiple videos of this? There's gotta be another clip from a different angle. Somebody must have recorded this dang thing, because it's so big, and you clearly see it sticking out like a sore thumb. The clouds being grayish, whitish, and this thing is like black, and you just see it. The shape of it is quite baffling indeed. And yeah, quite baffling, and the way it moves too, quite mesmerizing. There must have been somebody else capturing this thing too. I refuse to believe it. And if you don't have it, then I call bull squash on this one.
You know, generally, when you see a tic-tac shaped craft, from my understanding, they always seem to be metallic, and they kind of mirror the clouds or the sun or whatever is going on around it off it. So it makes it blend in and camouflage a lot better from like the video footage that I've seen before. So this to me, it looks like a tic-tac type shaped craft that you see around a lot, but it's shadowed, and that makes, it doesn't seem like the typical type to me, but also like it makes me wonder, maybe since it's going through the clouds and it's a cloudy day, what if the clouds, the shadows don't refract off it the same way, and it looks a little different.
Maybe.
I don't really think it is a cigar-shaped UFO. I don't think it's two-dimensional. I think it's actually more like the 1992 Mexico City, very famous footage where a UFO was flying near a building. It was very wobbly, only this is not wobbly, doesn't have near as many as features on it or a dome. It's more like a flat disc, dark, possibly encased in a shadow. But the fact that it's going behind the clouds, this is amazing footage. I like this a lot. This is one of
I hear his argument too. What I was gonna say is that like it also has a shape of a blimp, and but I feel like that it's going way faster than a blimp. It has that shape, but it doesn't mean that it's that, right? It looks kind of different, but still has the same vibe to it. And another thing is that it's going through the clouds. So if this is fake, then yeah, right? Like it would be. You would have to put a little bit of work in to fake this. It's not impossible, but I feel like that this one would be really a lot more harder to fake with the fake clouds. Or maybe not. Okay, now that I think of, there's a way to actually do it very, very easily. Yeah. Nah, it's not that hard to fake this one. I take that back. So can be fake, actually. Yeah, in this day and age, it's like crazy. It's very hard to say which one is real and fake.
Did you see that? We're gonna replay the video, but it looks as if some kind of craft just jettisoned some kind of drone out into this field. We're looking at something legitimate, something crazy here, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know, when I first see this, I almost wonder if it's like translucent because of the just look of it and the way it blends into the sky, but then it drops something out of it, and this thing, it like, I don't know.
Okay, so what's the main object we're looking at? This one right here, and it drops, and it has like the cube shape too, and there's like something here as well.
No, you don't see it explode onto the ground. It just kind of fades into the trees behind it, and it's like,
They landed.
Is this some sort of,
They landed.
you know, government experiment? Is something going on here? I don't know, like testing. Like I want to know where this was shot, but really interesting.
We're looking at this stuff in real time, and I'm kind of blown away. Tonight's episode's crazy, but I think the best is for the last video right here. This is crazy stuff. Dr. J?
Dr. J!
This actually is very similar, if not almost identical, to what was filmed off the coast of Florida in the mid-90s and actually showcased in one of my all-time favorite UFO documentaries of that era, UFOs Above and Beyond, released in 1996. Literally, it shows the same thing, only that one was a still shot and much more detailed because obviously video cameras in the mid-90s were not very good. The possibility of the shadow could be that this is possibly partly cloaking itself. We do know these things can be, you know, sometimes translucent slightly because they're not 100% in this dimension. They could be in one dimension, say 80%, this dimension and 20%, and any combination thereof. But I think this is genuine. Things like this have been seen around the world.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, okay, so we have seen some objects that look like were cloaked or feels like they have the ability of cloaking. But does that mean that every single UFO that we see in the sky has the cloaking ability? Probably not, right? I would like to believe that some UFOs are more advanced than the others. Potentially, right? But this has been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Check out this video on the screen. We had so many different clips. This video is actually going viral as well. And the clips that we have in this one, I think you're gonna like it. If you have already seen, then check out the video on the left, and I will see you right there.